So you want to spend some time in Bali? We've put together a quick guide to get you started on your journey. We'll cover aspects from what to expect from the island, where to stay depending on your expectations, how to cover the basics and what to do to squeeze everything out of your stay on the island. Finally, we'll talk about the bad stuff as well, so you can come prepared physically and mentally. Add the video to your favorites or get a pen and paper, because this one is going to be information dense. One final note before we begin, this video is a starter guide, and we're sure you'll discover many more places when you're there. If you're coming from abroad, you'll fly into the Ngurah Rai airport in Denpasar, the main city part of the island. Since Bali recently reintroduced visa on arrival, your entry to the island will be simple. You can also arrive from the main island of Java and take a ferry to the town of Gili in the northeastern part of Bali. Arriving this way will, however, require you to arrange private transportation, as the local Uber, called Gojek, will not allow you to order such a long ride, as these are officially limited to 100 kilometers, but in reality, most rides over 90 kilometers are not orderable on the app. You can take a blue cab at the airport or install the Gojek app on your phone to arrange transport to your location of choice and pay with cash from an ATM. Here are a few major regions you might choose to stay in, depending on what you're looking for. Whilst it's somewhat of a running joke, each region has a distinct type of personality among the expat community or a purpose why people go there. That being said, wherever you go, if you can play a ukulele, it's an added bonus. Canggu, as described by our favorite Bali Instagram account Overheard in Canggu, living in Canggu is doing the bare minimum and rewarding yourself with good food you don't deserve with money you don't have. Check out their profile for more inspirational quotes relating to living in Bali. Canggu is known for its working nomad community, frivolous lifestyles, and maxed out mobile data packages used on swiping on Tinder. There are plenty of food places to choose from, and the beach is not bad as long as you don't expect pristine, clean white sands. This is also a great place to learn to surf thanks to its predictable waves and plenty of instructors and beach boys who are ready to teach you. Canggu is also famous for its shortcut, a narrow road with tons of traffic and a history of cars tipping over or bikes flying off the road into the rice fields. Seminyak is where you go if you want higher grade living conditions, usually in a villa and when you love shopping. It's somewhat removed from the scene and vastly different from Canggu vibe. It's here where you have some high-end restaurants, nightclubs, and opportunities to spot your favorite Instagrammers dining or hanging out on the beach. As it's just south of Canggu, the beach is much similar and you should set your expectations accordingly. Denpasar, the capital of Bali, and its oldest town with a huge deal of history. Some of which can be explored by visiting the Bajra Sandi monument to watch the well-described dioramas or taking a city tour with one of the many operators you'll find on TripAdvisor. The area has nearly 1 million residents and boasts the most amount of shops, markets, and several temples. It's here where you'll come to sort out any official visa-related matters or pay customs duty at the main post office if someone sends you things from abroad. Kuta, east of Denpasar and south from Seminyak. Kuta is where you'll find some great hotels like the Mamaka by Ovolo, with great views of the beach on which you can admire gorgeous sunsets and people flying impressive kites. The beach itself is very wide and has plenty of accessory salesmen, while the street outside of it boasts plenty of carts selling food. The nearby Beach Walk Mall is popular for all your shopping needs, and if you want to do activities, there's a great water park called Waterbottle or play golf at the nearby course. Uluwatu, the southernmost part of the island, just under the most expensive and fancy area called Jimbaran, has a few golf clubs for so inclined. The southwestern part of the island is where you'll go if you enjoy a boho lifestyle, want to take first lessons in surfing, make use of some great deals on food, attend open-air parties, and enjoy several white sand beaches. You'll also find a few great beach clubs and the incredible Uluwatu temple. Uluwatu has a down-to-earth, relaxed vibe, with much less pressure than earlier mentioned areas. Nusa Dua. To the northeast of Uluwatu, you'll find Nusa Dua by Benoa Bay. This area has been one of our favorite for its amazing hotels, well-maintained sands, and availability of water sports. It lacked local restaurants which closed due to the you-know-what, so you'll mostly be stuck with resort restaurants for now, but those are great and serve both Balinese and Western foods. This is an amazing place to take romantic beach walks or enjoy a romantic candlelit dinner. Morning strolls are highly recommended as the view on the volcano in the background with fishermen walking the shallow waters is very unique. Ubud, located northeast of Denpasar, is the place to be for all types of yogi practitioners, ecstatic dancers, art and history fans, aspiring cooks, and those not afraid of macaque monkeys who roam the streets in packs when venturing outside the famous monkey forest. Hotels here are well priced and so is the food. Spas and beauty salons are aplenty and 70-year-old hairdresser ladies aren't afraid to call you a handsome boy after you get a haircut from them. Amed. Located in the east of the island, Amed is a diver's paradise with several great diving spots and an absolute ton of diving schools. You'll be able to enjoy wrecks and astounding fall-off shelves, even if you have a basic open water license. Fish and coral are incredibly abundant, accommodation varies depending on your budget, and once everything opens up again, there will also be a good variety of places to eat. Lovina. Located at the opposite side of the island from all the hustle and bustle of Denpasar, Lovina is most known for almost guaranteed sightings of dolphins and boasts several operators who will gladly take you on board, treat you to a banana sandwich and tea before getting you into the water to test your arm strength whilst chasing pods of dolphins. That's not all Lovina has to offer, as you can also go snorkeling and diving over the coral reefs, hike to the waterfalls, and dip in the Banjar Hot Springs nearby. It's also a place where you can see a beautiful Buddhist monastery, the Brahmavira Arama, which is a replica of an ancient Javanese archaeological site called Borobudur, which is 330 miles east. You can watch a full tour of this monastery on our second YouTube channel, linked in the description and in the tab above. Accommodation. The island boasts a full breadth of accommodation types, from shared guest houses and hostels through garage-style single rooms to hotels, apartments and villas. Naturally, prices will vary greatly, but to lead a comfortable lifestyle we recommend preparing between 5 and 10 million rupiah for accommodation per month, which will allow you to stay at a 4-star level place or share a villa with other nomads. That being said, some of our friends have managed to secure good rooms in Uluwatu for as low as 2 million per month, whilst others preferred their own villa for 30 million. Hotels. Our top 3 favorite hotels in Bali were Lovina Life in the north of Bali for its styling, cleanliness, overall quality and good food. Only downside is that it's far north and the internet wasn't very fast. Conrad Bali for its top quality, exceptional service, beautiful outdoors, huge swimming pools and beach cleaned every morning. The only thing we liked less was the breakfast experience being a mix of a buffet and restaurant, which made it a very confusing scenario for folks who are yet to have coffee. Last but not least, our overall favorite, Amnaya, for its serenity, incredible customer service, decent pricing, beautiful rooms and suites cleaned to perfection, local spa, gym and yoga space, and availability to arrange romantic dining by the pool. Only downside for us were internet speeds on the general access password, so make sure to ask for the fast login at check-in if you're planning to upload large files to the net. Guesthouses. These don't differ much from a smaller hotel room and occasionally have a separate bathroom, but often have access to a shared kitchen where you can make your own food. These are a great place to meet other people thanks to these often having communal areas to hang out, work and be eaten alive by mosquitoes. Apartments and villas. There are plenty of apartments and villas available on the island. These range from one-bedroom apartments like this one in Seminyak, which had a large lounge, outdoor space, jacuzzi and a roof terrace. The owner responded to a post on Facebook, so it's worth asking on the main few groups for what you're looking for and sifting through what you get in response. Villas are a similar deal, but these are often accessible through local brokers who are very active on the Bali Facebook groups. The best way to afford a villa is to rent with a few of your friends. A budget of 7 to 10 million per person will get you a good villa with cleaning and laundry services and quality amenities, though this can be done much more budget-friendly if needed. It all depends on standards that you expect from the place you want to stay at. Take your time visiting properties and assess your options. A few basics also worth mentioning are: electricity is 220 to 240 volts and sockets are two-pronged European standard. If you have American equipment, check that your charger is self-switching between the two standards. If you do, then all you need is a plug converter. We got this chunky guy, which has a few USB ports for everything we need. Phone and SIM card. You most likely have a cell phone already. So if you're coming to Bali for more than 3 months and want to use a local SIM card, you might need to register your phone before coming over and pay tax on it upon arrival at the airport. That being said, we have registered it but did not go through the customs office as it was closed due to the Rona and we never managed to get back there. Our passports were scanned to register our tourist SIM cards with a local telephony operator Telkomsel, and once the SIM card stopped working after more than 90 days, we went in again and got them registered for a second time at no extra cost, and they worked just fine. Your mileage may vary on this one. If you're coming to Bali for a long time, the best solution would be to have a dual SIM phone, as that will allow you to pop in a second Indonesian SIM card and have your original two-factor authentication on your old number and your local communication through your Indonesian number. Sunscreen. If you've never been to a hot climate like this one, make sure to bring a strong filtering cream rated to something like 90. The sun here is relentless. A tip we got from an oncologist: remember to use your cream on your ears. Apparently many people lose their ear to cancer due to forgetting to put sunscreen on them. When buying sunscreen, look for one that's not harmful to aquatic life or the coral reef. Lastly, bring a hat and a thin long sleeve top, especially if you plan on learning to surf, and remember to drink enough water. Bring your own or buy a water bottle locally. Plastic pollution is particularly evident on the western beaches of Bali, and waste management on the island isn't fully developed yet, so let's try to minimize the problem by reusing a water bottle. The use of large water jugs in coolers is very common on the island, so you won't have a problem refilling your reusable. Backup wallet. Muggings are quite rare on the island, but as any seasoned traveler, it's best to have a second wallet with a little bit of cash to give away in case of a mugging or when someone in a position of power wants a bribe and you want to downplay the amount of cash you have on you. Bag or valuable snatchings have become more prevalent this year, so be mindful of what's on display. Insurance. Definitely get one. It's not difficult to get injured on a trip like this. Foot injuries are most common, but also surfing is a major source of visits to the doctor, right next to the infamous Bali belly stomach infections. Depending on your length of stay, you'll get a traveler's insurance or a nomad insurance. There's an abundance of the former and a few options for the latter. Being nomads, we used safety wings, but as with any other insurers, reviews online are mixed, so make sure to do a bit of research to find the perfect one for you, and that it covers your activities. Driver's license. You'll likely need an international driving permit to remain motorized on the island. You get these in your home country, and this might take a while, so check this plenty of time ahead. Driving without a license will get you in trouble if caught, and foreigners on motorbikes are rather prone to be stopped for a check by the police. If you feel the need to get a local driver's license, that's possible, but you'll need local help, so ask your tour guide or locals who will be able to arrange this for you. Passport. Make a copy of your passport and driver's license and laminate them in case you lose your original. Keep it safe. Sadly, there is very little data protection here, so your passport will be photocopied by your hotels, photographed by your phone plan provider to be uploaded onto a Google Sheet, and God knows what happens with the phone they use to capture your passport. We haven't heard of any cases of identity fraud, and a quick Google also doesn't reveal any cases, so perhaps this is a non-issue. Cards. Use cash where you can to minimize fraud, but don't flash large amounts of cash. Consider getting a Revolut account or similar provider like Wise, which lets you get a virtual card easily through the app. Use that virtual or even a one-time use card number for hotels if you want to protect your money further. Providers such as Revolut also give you the added benefit of an app that immediately tells you of a transaction or asks if you're making a transaction before allowing it to proceed. If you're renting a villa for longer, you'll likely need to make a bank transfer. This is also easy to do on the spot with a provider like Revolut. We used cash in shops and kept the card for larger purchases in established shops, hotels and restaurants, but it was always a Revolut card. Keep your card safe from salt water, as it will degrade the chip surface and your card will stop working unless you deoxidize it or carefully scratch the patina off. Tax and service charge. These are usually added to the bill. Tipping is appreciated but not compulsory. Bali has a service culture and you will come across people, fixers to be exact, who help you get to places or arrange things for you. Those guys will expect a tip even if they say otherwise. In places like Jakarta, you'll even come across street hustlers who help guide traffic for tips. Communication. WhatsApp is a must-have. You'll be using it to communicate with friends, join groups, sign up to guest lists for events, and ask shops, restaurants and hotels for availability. Some phones allow having more than one profile set up for one particular app, such as WhatsApp. So look into that if you don't want to give out your foreign number to people you meet, instead share your Indonesian number. We suggest the latter as data is harvested heavily when signing up to events or renting out equipment like a scooter or jet ski. Instagram is the second most used means of communication and source of information for events and current affairs, so you might want to get yourself an account there too. Most road users are on scooters and you'll likely join them at some point, especially if you plan on moving around a lot or stay for a longer time in places like Uluwatu, where Gojeks, the local Uber, are rarely available. If you plan on skirting the law, we recommend at least getting classes in your home country on how to ride safely. Foot and lower leg injuries are most common among riders, and rarely insurance pays out if you're unlicensed, so best to minimize the risk and learning to ride on a quality bike before you get on a rickety and rusty scooter on a patchy road somewhere in Lembongan. Oh, and wear a darn helmet. A lot of people trust that leaving their helmet on the bike will be okay, but these do get stolen often, so decide for yourself how you wish to proceed. Scooter rentals cost between 50 and 70k a day. Longer rentals get progressively cheaper, and a monthly rental shouldn't cost you more than 6 to 700k for a reasonable 125cc scooter with a helmet. Scooters such as NMAX will cost you more. Car rentals are easy, and there are plenty of places to get one from. A 2-week car rental will cost you around 4 million rupiah. You can also get a car with a driver, which, depending on the distance, will cost you between 600 and 800k for a day outside peak season. You can also use Gojeks and get a ride in a car or at the back of a scooter, the latter being much cheaper, and they usually provide a helmet. Pay with cash to avoid a car payment charge. You can pay even less if you top up your Gojek account and use its balance. Local food has a good variety and tastes amazing. We took a cooking class in Ubud and loved every minute of the experience. From the market visit, through learning about the culture, house layout, and purpose of each individual shrine, we made a few awesome dishes with Auntie Puspa and her husband Wayan. We highly recommend this experience, find them in the video description. Tap water isn't considered for drinking purposes. Over a period of 5 months, we had 3 stomach upsets even though we tried to avoid tap water and low-grade food. Prepare to get Bali belly, and when you do, drink lots of water. Take medicine when necessary and ensure you replenish salts and minerals. I drank Pocari Sweat, weird name for a drink, but it's good for replenishing electrolytes. Restaurants. Here's a brief list of the more popular restaurants for each area to get you started. Coffee shops. There are more coffee shops in Bali than one can count. Indonesia being a major player in the global area of coffee production, including coffee pre-digested by animals, you can get coffee almost on every street, if not from a typical coffee place, then from a cart or scooter operated by a single coffee salesman. Coffee shops are crammed into every nook and cranny, like the Monkey Cave Cafe in Ubud that sits below a transformer squeezed between two hotels. Coffee shops are something that should be explored, which you'll likely do when heading out to meet friends or cure a hangover. Co-working. Many co-working places have permanently shut down during the Rona, so we'll keep this short and recommend that you give Zin in Canggu a try. Otherwise, work off coffee shops or beach clubs and your hotel until you learn from locals what reopens and becomes available. Beach clubs. A large part of life in Bali happens at beach clubs. Some of the ones we find worth going to early on are Fins in Canggu, Savaya in Uluwatu, and Palmilla in Uluwatu. There are, however, a huge amount of these on the island, but those will get you started nicely and set the bar at a decent height. Usually to get a table or spot at these, there's a minimum spend during sunset times, so arrive early or late to avoid this. Alternatively, come as a group if you want to avoid having to spend a minimum of $30 to $60 personally. Nightlife on the island is extremely vibrant. Our first experience of a nightclub was at La Favela. Sadly, it was during the Rona, so partying was unofficial, so phones were stored with security for the duration of our stay. Sorry, we don't have any photos or videos to share for this one. We had an absolute blast there, and the locals were amazing dancers, even though some say they were hired by the club. But I want to believe. We spent a New Year's Eve at the famous Savaya. It's a large multi-platform club where you can chill by a table, sit on a chair half inside of a swimming pool, hang around the bars, or hit the dance floor. Music style is a bit of a hit and miss in some of the clubs, but from what we gather, few go clubbing in Bali to focus on dancing. Last but not least, we had an incredible time at the Surface Bar in Kuta in south of Lombok. Music there was great, and you could dance barefoot in the sand if you didn't care that your flip-flops were likely going to be stolen by the 10-year-old kids who paddle string bracelets. Exercise. There's ample opportunities to stay fit on the island. If you're not hiking Mount Batur or run on the beach, you can get your workout fix surfing, swimming, or hit the local gym. These vary in size and are usually in hotels, but if you choose to go to a full-size gym, one we would recommend is Lewis & Friends for its good machine availability, air conditioning, and reasonable pricing between 500k and 1 million, depending on the current deal they run. Tech stores. Located mostly in Denpasar region of Bali, has plenty of stores with photography, smartphone and laptop equipment. But much like in the West, availability of products is better online. So you'll likely want to use Tokopedia, which is similar to Amazon and has both official brand stores and third-party sellers. Ordering through it is easy but requires a local bank card, so you might need some help from a local friend or head to BCA Bank with a local friend who can help setting up a bank account for a foreigner. If none of that works, ask a related Facebook group or the general nomad one as a last resort. Trips off Bali. Bali is so much more than only the main island. Excursions to neighboring lands is a great way to expand on your experience and see some truly wonderful places. Our first trip was to Nusa Lembongan, where we checked out local beaches, viewing spots, went snorkeling and diving. Nusa Lembongan is a perfect opportunity to admire the stunning coral reef, a huge variety of fish, and if you're lucky, even turtles and rays. Check out our full video on Nusa Lembongan on the channel, link in the description. Gili Islands. The three most known Gilis are Travangan, Meno and Air. They are located just off Lombok and a 2-hour boat trip from Sanur Harbour in Bali, unless you take the fast one for more money. Travangan, being the largest of the three, features some great hotels such as Aston on the western side and the Pondok Santi in the south, with their amazing pizzeria by the beach, are highly recommended by us. The first one also has outdoor movie nights, which we enjoyed very much. The island is known for partying on the east side, and if you like flying high, you won't have a problem finding that there. There's some good wind on the eastern side too, if you're into kitesurfing. The sand is amazing for walks on the beach. Water's mostly calm and great for snorkeling. Plenty opportunities to find turtles in the northeast and even sharks in the north. The main modes of transport on the Gilis are cycling and by horse-drawn carriages. Gili Meno is the quieter middle island, and it's where you can snorkel by the underwater statues. It has a turtle sanctuary on the southeastern side and a saltwater lake on the east. Gili Air is the smallest of the three, but is no worse whatsoever. Snorkel, enjoy cinema nights, go shopping, do yoga, or learn to cook. It's all on the Gilis. Oh, and obviously, Gilis are amazing for diving. If you need a dive school and hotel, check out Oceans 5 on Gili Air. Komodo National Park is where you'll see Komodo dragons. You can go the night before and stay on the island nearby, or embark on a 3-night, 2-day trip on one of the many Pinisi boats. Whichever option you choose, be ready to pay a fair amount, as this trip can range from $400 for the hotel-only option to $700 per person for the Pinisi boat with flights from Denpasar. Tour operators. Our tour operator came highly recommended, and we quickly learned why. We used Madei's services several times and we're always happy. You can throw suggestions at him on what you want to see, or have him take you around on a daily or multi-day trips. We saw several waterfalls, lakes, rice fields, temples,
light from the god like the sun,
and a volcano, all with Madei, who also runs a coconut farm in the west of the island and is happy to show you around it. You'll find his details in the description below. That being said, there are many driver tour operators on the island, and thanks to how everyone is connected, every hotel and most restaurant owners will be able to point you towards one if you ask. Water sports. Jet ski, parasailing, snorkeling, diving, fishing, you name it. It's here. Granted, during our time in Bali, towards the end of the Rona, all this was barely available, but our local friends tell us it's picking up quickly, and the more tourists return to the island, these services are quickly becoming available again. A great area for overwater sports is Nusa Dua, but if you have a specific itch you want to scratch, it's never further than a 2 or 3 hour trip, either to Lembongan, the Gilis, or the north of Bali. Surf spots. Uluwatu in the south of Bali is famous for both new starters and seasoned surfers. Most surf spots are in the south, from Canggu down all around Uluwatu and up to Sanur. Those wanting a change of scenery take a boat or flight to Lombok Island to explore and have their skills challenged. The nearby Nusa Lembongan also has a few surf spots with very wide and long waves thanks to its flat seafloor. Dive spots. Whether you're a PADI or SSI certified diver, you have great access to a full map of dive spots worldwide. If you're looking to start your journey with diving or just have some fun dives, some great spots on the island are located in Amed on the northeast of the island, near the jetty in Padang Bai, and Nusa Penida Island, which is a 40-minute boat trip from Sanur Harbour. The variety of sea life is astounding, and as long as you're comfortable with water and are healthy, diving should absolutely be on your bucket list. Must-see places. Temples. Tanah Lot near Canggu, come at low tide and early morning. Uluwatu Temple, including the famous Kecak fire dance, expensive but well worth it. Elephant Cave Temple in Ubud, beautiful and peaceful place. Bring mosquito repellent if you want to visit the forest also. Lempuyang Temple, this is the one with the famous water reflection. Fun fact, there is no water. It's just a guy there which uses a mirror with your phone to make that effect. His cost is now within the entrance fee. If you ask nicely, local stewards might take you upstairs to the temple where you can undergo the holy ceremony. To reach this place, take a local tourist bus from a parking lot a mile away, or go around the mountain and park outside the temple. Finally, the Brahmavira Arama, a smaller version of a huge complex of temples mentioned earlier. You'll find links to videos of 4 of the above in the description below. You can also hike Mount Batur, which is a local volcano. Check out a full vlog from this awesome hike, link also below. Waterfalls. Kanto Lampo. This is a very known, wide waterfall. Comes with a local photographer who's great. Use his services. Tibumana. Second most known waterfall, is a great spot for photos, but the walk to it is also a great experience thanks to dense vegetation and abundance of sounds. Tuka Cepung. Reach through almost a cave-like system and having to walk through a river, make sure to bring water shoes otherwise this might be a bit painful, and next to a small shrine. This waterfall is most known for its tear-like shape and sun rays in the morning. Gembleng. Although still a bit under construction during our visit, this place has amazing views over the jungle and little pools where you can cool down. Getting there with a car is tricky due to a single-width road with rice fields on both sides and a parking spot for 1 car. Good luck. Other attractions. Tirta Ganga is a water palace with koi fish you can feed and some great Instagrammable spots. Towards the back there are some pools, and one side is reserved for gondola trips. Taman Uyung. This water palace is a large complex of pools, long bridges, and at its center you'll find pictures of the royals. Devastated twice after an earthquake and volcanic eruption, but restored, maintains its splendor thanks to extensive efforts by the locals. Ulun Danu Beratan Temple is part of a complex of features to take photos at, a fun place for kids, and has a decent place to eat. Entry at 100k is a bit steep, but overall worth it. The Hangan Suite is a peaceful mountaintop walk surrounded by Instagrammable feature spots. Just be careful as some have degraded over the last few years and might be a bit unstable. Ubud Market, a must-do for those who like browsing for souvenirs, bags, scarves and trinkets. Make sure to haggle the prices down by 30 to 50%, otherwise you're probably overpaying. An alternative to Ubud Market is the Sukawati Art Market, which is considered less of a tourist hotspot. Kampuhan Ridge Walk is a fantastic walk that spans 10 kilometers, though you don't have to do the whole length, and also a great place for a jog. Cooking class. We went to Auntie Puspa's cooking class and had an absolute blast. Learned the ingredients, which we bought together at the local market, and cooked several great meals, highly recommended. Rice fields. Bali is very known for its rice paddies. There are plenty all over the island. Some feature tourist attractions like the Alas Harum with its swings and Kopi Luwak coffee. And others are simply the terrace, such as the Tagalang Rice Terrace, which is actually a stone's throw south from Alas Harum, and Sidaman Rice Terraces. But honestly, if you get on a scooter or in a car and drive for yourself, you'll find several incredible rice paddies that will blow you away, which is what we did whilst aiming for a circle around the island. If instead you're going to hire a driver with a car, they'll be the perfect person to discuss an itinerary with and what's best for the time of the year you're visiting. Beaches. Nusa Dua. Great sand and warm, calm waters. One of the best on the island and most importantly, very clean. Dream Beach. Deep, wide, with great sand, but tends to be quite windy. Pantai Suluban. Hidden under tall cliffs lies a hidden gem with some nice sand. If you come during low tide, you'll have a large stretch of sand heading out into the sea. You'll also be able to turn left to another beach around the corner. Niang Niang is a long stretch with amazing sand, a couple of warungs, local takeaways, and even a bubble hotel. Get there by walking down on foot, even though it's a long stretch. One girl did it on a scooter and lost her brakes, which resulted in her falling over the edge and stopping on a tree. Ride a scooter down only if you trust your equipment and skills. Overhead on the cliff, you'll find the famous airplane, one of 4 on the island. What negatives to expect when staying on the island? Internet speeds are usually fairly slow. If you don't live in a place with a fast landline internet, then the best thing you can do is test the speed of your phone data plan, and if it's good enough for you, buying a large data plan. We found Telkomsel to have good signal, customer service, and an app to add funds and data plans. Being YouTubers, we often upload files that are anywhere between 2 and 5 gigabytes. Usually we had to leave our laptop overnight to upload videos onto YouTube, and across our 5 months stay in Bali, we had fast internet only in 2 places we stayed at. A private apartment in Seminyak and Amnaya, a hotel in Nusa Dua, but only after requesting the fast login details. Next thing is lack of ergonomic chairs. Since we both worked in companies which delivered ergonomic solutions to offices, we were very badly surprised by the lack of ergonomic workstations in places that advertise themselves nomad-friendly. Some of our friends, despite staying in 4 or 5-star hotels, had to buy their own desk and chair to not affect their posture negatively. This naturally will apply to nomads who work longer than an hour each day, and since editing a 30-minute video with 430 scenes takes around 7 full days, a good chair is a must. But sadly, we never found a quality workstation where the chair was ergonomic and the desk was an actual desk, and not a piece of furniture that is not the right height. Animals and insects. Living in Bali has really made us realize how few animals we have in the West around us. There are so many more animals in the tropics that they will inevitably come into your home many times. We've had small and large lizards, roaches of all sizes, mice, rats, spiders, frogs, crickets, and even freaking civet, ones that walked on our terrace 3 stories up. Our friend also had a cobra once in their home. This might seem obvious to many, but we cannot stress enough how likely it is that you'll share accommodation with any of the above multiple times. Just make sure to come prepared mentally if you're coming from an area of the planet that's largely devoid of small animals surrounding your place of rest. Some might like it, some will hate it. You've been informed. Smell of sewers. More prevalent in large cities like Jakarta, but often also in Bali, the smells are often different from what you'll know from the West. This is mostly due to two things: open gutters or barely covered up with vented concrete slabs that have a very distinct smell of anything they carry. Secondly, trash burning. Bali doesn't have an effective way to deal with waste, and it's culturally accepted that trash of any sort can be burned, regardless of what nasty toxins they release. This is usually more visible outside of cities and on satellite islands like Lombok and the Gilis. Few and uneven sidewalks. The island isn't working friendly. Whilst there's a big push in the west to get people off of motorized vehicles and money follows to make sure infrastructure accommodate that goal, Bali, and really most of Indonesia, isn't very walking friendly. The few sidewalks tend to be uneven, affected by tree roots or not placed down correctly following some emergency repairs, or there are cables hanging over the sidewalk making it difficult to pass. It's a developing nation, so this is to be expected, so prepare to use Gojeks, rent a car or get a scooter. Beaches are fun to walk on, but be wary of the little rivers that flow from the island into the sea, as these can give you a rash when walked through. Leaky buildings. Despite renting mid to high-end places, we never had a place that wasn't somehow affected by the weather. Leaky ceilings and roofs, noisy aircon units, gaps that allow animals to enter are all common, so be prepared to deal with this, as well as rooster noise from 4 a.m. in more rural places. We found that renting a studio in higher-end hotels solves most of these issues, although it takes away from the overall feel of Bali that most come to embed themselves into, so there's a choice you'll need to make. In private rentals, fixes take ages to sort. If you do rent an apartment or villa for longer, you will need to deal with unreliable tradesmen that often do half the job and bog off or come without any tools for the job. Often fixes are just that, patches that don't solve the root cause of an issue. We must note that this is a very generalizing statement, and our opinion might be stemming from the owners of apartments we stayed at, not wanting to spend the money for a proper repair, so take our opinion with a grain of salt. Clothes damaged by laundrettes. If you stay at a place without your own washing machine, you will be forced to rely on laundrettes. If that will be the case, be prepared for your clothes to get stained, turn yellow, get damaged, or go missing. We tested several places, including ones that were recommended to us, and not one didn't cause some of the above. We found that the detergents used are poor quality and clothes are often dried on a string outside, or the machines are not serviced and therefore stain the fabric. There's no real recourse for damages, and since the service costs around 50k, not paying the bill will hardly reimburse the garment's cost. Again, we're painting with a broad brush here, but our experience hasn't been very positive on this one particular matter. Don't trust the photos. When choosing a place to stay for longer, don't ever trust the photos. When you arrive on the island, stay at a hotel for a couple of days and go hunting for a real place to stay. Moldy walls, broken furniture eaten by termites, limited facilities and amenities, poor cleaning quality are all real issues that will rarely be on display in the posting on Facebook or booking sites. Don't be afraid to be picky, bargain hard, and check locks on doors, windows, and safes when choosing a place to stay. Street salesmen and hustlers. These come part and parcel, so best is to say thank you and keep moving. You can use the word nanti, which means later, to politely dissuade them from continuing to pursue you, though in a few places like the Padang Bai port, nothing worked on taxi hustlers and Gojeks don't show up there. Continue to be firm and vigilant, especially the more friendly they are. It usually follows a pattern of where you're from, how long you've been here, and how long you're staying as an icebreaker before they move on to either trying to entertain you a bit and asking for money in return or trying to arrange something for you. One situation we were ill prepared for was a Gojek driver who, upon learning that we're going to the port, called ahead and arranged boat tickets and fixed the price at 40% uplift. Another guy said he's promoting an event at Finn's where we'd get free t-shirts, and later on in the convo divulged it's actually next to Finn's and has nothing to do with them. So the only thing to do is keep saying no thank you and keep moving. Same goes for the ladies offering massage, though they are gentle and don't pursue you on the street. Drug dealers. We were offered both drugs and prescription medicine a number of times. Considering these are strictly forbidden under the penalty of death, it's quite bold of anyone to offer these on the street during the day. Facebook groups. If you need more info on any subject, the best thing to do is sign up to a few local Facebook groups and use the search tool there, or ask. These communities are super friendly and you'll likely get a few responses. Bali has a great vibe and pulls in mostly great, kind-hearted people, so relax and have fun. If you want to quickly catch up on latest expat culture, check out Overheard in Canggu on Instagram, as well as the Canggu poll. Everyone loves those profiles and they're a great source of commentary on the current affairs and memes. To summarize, we spent an amazing time in Bali, and it being our first ever location visit in Asia, we were blessed to find a wonderful group of people who made this an even more unforgettable experience. And you will likely find one as well. In Bali, it's scarily easy to find people you're compatible with. If you found this video useful, consider subscribing for more and share with friends if they're traveling with you. Any feedback or comments are welcome. We aim to respond to every single one. We also have a second channel called Audio Travels with mostly uncut material, which you can check out to see how Bali really looks like. Several of the places listed above are already uploaded there or will be in the coming days and weeks. That's it from us now. Until next time, take care.